Well, since you ended with, I put an S on the end of my name, I'll start with the S on the end of my name is my mother's maiden name. So in 1949, she was a women's lib. She kept her family name. So I'm proud of that. I told the press that I'll be brief and I only really want to go over three things. And if I'm any longer, I have some hecklers here that will ensure I can. So, but the first thing I do want to say is there's a lot of thank yous that have to go out tonight. Uh, First one is to my wife. Mr. Ginder will remember the first time I ran for office. We ran together on the same ticket, and we had an event like this. And I spent all day decorating the hall in beautiful red, white, and blue tablecloths. And my wife came dressed that night in a very patriotic red, white, and blue outfit. And I commented about how patriotic my wife looks and matches the tablecloths. Boy, did I learn a lesson that I have to say, never again. But that's the great part about my wife. She just smiled, didn't say a word till later, you know. But when I was approached by Tom, I have to admit, I was in shock. I was very much honored that he had selected me to run for this office. And I appreciate it very much. But before I could say yes, I did have to get the okay. Because just finishing a run for the State House, which our house was our campaign headquarters, and by the way, the Hillary Clinton campaign headquarters. For a lot of you who are at our house every weekend, 70, 80, 90 people. So the first promise to my wife was, our house won't be our campaign headquarters. So with that, I got her approval and she's standing by me and I appreciate that. I'd like to thank all of my family, my daughters, my son. Of course, they're all active lives and can't be here because of the grandchildren with events tonight. And well, my son lives in Colorado, so he's not going to be here for that reason. But they're all supporting me. I'd like to thank also the IBEW and Paul Anthony for allowing us to have this hall tonight. And yes, labor has been our friend and will continue to be our friend. And I think, again, studying history, if we all realize all the benefits that all America got because of the things that the labor unions fought for. So I think we all need to remember that sometimes. And it's something we The second thing I wanted to do was to give you a little bit about my background because as Tom says, I'm not well known south of 22. So south of 22, I'll give you a little bit about my background. I was born and raised in the Scranton area. My father was a politician. My brother was the president of the board up in our local town. My sister-in-law was on the school board, a very political family. Unfortunately, they were all Republicans. But they still talk to me now and then. We just don't try to get into too many other discussions. But I came down to this area in 1967, and I never went home. I got my bachelor's and my master's degree from Kutztown University. Right upon graduation, I became a public school teacher at Whitehall High School. Spent 40 years, and I loved going to work every day. It was a great opportunity to work with young people. As a teacher, I became the department chair at Whitehall High School, and from that position, I was also elected to 2 terms as the secondary ed chairperson for the Middle States Council on Social Studies. So I got to travel to 5 states in Washington, D.C. I got to be a lobbyist in Washington for social studies education. I'm a firm believer in social studies education, along with the STEM and all the other, and the arts. I think we need it all. I coached. I was every class advisor and club advisor that you could come up with. I was. I was also a tour bus driver for 38 years. And that opened many, many doors, and I got to meet a lot of lovely people, Lori O'Hara being number one. Also, after I got out of teaching, there was an opening on the Board of Commissioners in Whitehall. Didn't tell anybody, but I applied. Interviewed. Worst interview I ever went for. They asked me, "What's your goals?" I said, "I have none." "What's your agenda?" "I have none." I think you can remember that, Phil, not making that up. I said, "Listen, I spent 40 years of my life giving to the school. Now I want to give to the township. I don't come in with any preconceived options or programs." I got a phone call, I got the job. A couple of years later, I got elected, and now I'm the president of the board. And I'm very, very proud of our board and our mayor and what we've accomplished. We've had 6 years without a tax increase. I think that's something that everybody would like to stand up in front of a group of people and say. We passed it. Yeah, I feel like the president. The vice president standing up. We were the first town a couple of months ago to pass the Fair Districts resolution that we have let everybody go. We also passed one of the strictest ethics ordinances in this area. There absolutely will be no pay for play in Whitehall. We have changed the way we collect our trash. 3 years ago, we promised the people of Whitehall that if you would go along with this, 3 years from now, we would reduce your garbage fees. This year in our budget, we lowered the garbage fees 30%. Imagine a politician who kept his word.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. But it's not me, it's our board and it's our mayor. We've learned to work well together. And I think that's a very important characteristic of any government body, working well together. And I think at Whitehall, we have accomplished that. And I've been a really proud member of our board. I'm also a Lions Club member. And in the Lions Club this last year, I helped organize a duck derby, which we raised over $5,000 for our library to have one of the only vision enhancement machines in the Lehigh Valley, which is open for anybody to use, and I'm very proud of that. I'm on the Community that Cares Committee, where we work very hard to try to solve problems, actually try to prevent problems, working with our youth. And with that, I've also instituted at Whitehall a Student Government Day, which is coming up the first Monday in May, where I bring the students from the high school over, and they watch our local government for the day and then run our town in a real town meeting, and that teaches more about government than anything in the classroom. I also have the stroll down the parkway that I started. We have some excellent parks and trails, not just in Whitehall, but all in Lehigh Valley. And I think it's very important that we keep them that way, and that we let people know how valuable they are. I'm also on the Fall Festival Committee, the Whitehall Gala 75 Committee, and we're having a large gala coming up. I'll put a little, if you haven't gotten a ticket yet, we're going to have April 22nd at the Whitehall Mall, a wonderful dinner dance that night. Hope to see if you can make it, please come. So my point is, I've always been active, and that is why I'm in the race for county executive. I don't believe in life you sit on the front porch when you retire and grow old. I think you do what you've done all your life. You work to help people. Now, the last part is, what are my objectives? What do I want to accomplish when elected as the county executive? Well, I got to start with a little history lesson. I was a history teacher. 1902, a little bit before my time, right before Tom was born. 1902, we had one of the most devastating strikes in American history, the coal strike of 1902. It shut down industry. It shut down hospitals. People weren't able to cook, heat their home. Electricity was shut off. It was one of the worst strikes. John Mitchell was the head of the United Mine Workers Union at the time. A man by the Mr. Bear was the head of the owners. No negotiating was done. There's no need to negotiate, because back at that time, the government, whether it would be the state, the local, the courts, the militia, would always go against the worker. The strike would always be settled with the worker losing. But a freak thing happened. An assassin's bullet killed President McKinley, and Teddy Roosevelt became president. My hero. First time in American history, he brought Mr. Bear and Mr. Mitchell to the White House, and he sat them down. And he said, gentlemen, for the first time in American history, the American citizens are going to be represented at this negotiating table. And he said, I am that voice. I represent those citizens.